Welcome to The Wellness Code. Nurse Melinda from Finish First Medical is here to share a variety of medical information and solutions to enhance your health and well-being. And now to guide you through The Wellness Code, Nurse Melinda.
Well, hello, Nurse Melinda.
Hello, Michael.
So good to see you today.
Yes, it's been fun.
I understand that you've got a really exciting show for us today on a topic that I know absolutely nothing about, which concerns me because maybe there's something wrong with me, but I know today's show's about embracing menopause, which is something I have zero experience with. But I have had experience with some of the women in my life who may have experienced this menopause thing. So what exactly is menopause? What causes it? When does it happen? And when is it going to stop, damn it?
Well, Michael, by the end of this show, I'm hoping you are very familiar with what menopause is.
Thank God.
Because a lot of, not to be mean, male practitioners just don't know either. And so when we're talking about menopause, I think it's very important that women self-advocate for themselves and their health and do their research and know that it is real, it is supposedly natural, but how do we get through it? Right? Because it can really last from 1 to 20 years.
20 years?
Yes.
Oh, my God. That, I can understand now why some guys just don't go home at night. 18 more years. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, my gosh.
Yep. And then, you're like, blame it on whatever you want to blame it on midlife crisis, whatever you want to blame it on. But it's real. It does happen. And there can be some subtle signs and there can be some not so subtle signs. And so let's chat about what menopause is.
Let's do that. I need to understand.
All right.
Okay.
So when women are having their cycles and are baby ready, they have estrogen and progesterone. It plays in its cycle. And then when the egg is ready to be fertilized, then the hormones change to help keep the egg so that you can have a baby. Right?
Right.
So as you get older, we know that at the age of 35, your progesterone plummets. Progesterone is the great calmer. That's what calms us at night. That's what allows us to go to sleep and then lets us sleep so that we can regenerate and repair our bodies during the night while we're sleeping.
Okay.
So when we're 35, it craps down.
Oh, okay.
Like it doesn't just slowly, it just
It dies.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then from the age of 35 to 55 ish can be shorter or longer, but you have estrogen that is still being produced, but it slowly starts to go down. So you've got that 20-year period of no calm, and estrogen is the big exciter. It's what gets us up in the morning. It's what gets us performing as we do. It's what moves our muscles and our bones. And we need estrogen for healthy muscles and for healthy bones and for a healthy mind. But if we're not sleeping very well and we're always excited, can you imagine what that is for a person who isn't having the calmness that we need, but we're always excited? Like there is always going to be these moments of great stress, frustration, overwhelmed. And then you add in hot flashes, brain fog, weight gain. You add in all of that, and you have these women from 35 to 55 that are just think they're going crazy.
Yeah.
And they're really not. It is hormones.
So I would imagine on top of all that, when you throw in a few kids and then you've got maybe a less than attentive husband who's cranky, and then there's financial problems and things are not going right. You throw all that into the mix. All I can say is I'm glad I'm not a woman because I don't think I could do that.
Right.
Let's see how you guys survive. So you're mentioning, was it progesterone?
Uh-huh.
So when it just kind of crashes after age 35. So could I go to the health food store and buy a little bottle of progesterone and just kind of sprinkle that in her juice in the morning and she'll never know the difference?
No, you can't. I mean, there's yams and there's for estrogen and there's different, if you're eating a clean diet, you're going to have better hormone production.
Yeah.
But the reality is you need to replace it.
Well,
That's really how it is.
Well, how do you do that?
There's different ways. I mean, we do compounded, so we can do it in an oil base, or you can do it in a cream base, or you can do it in a pill. The pills work really, really well. So, and you take it at night, and within 20 minutes, you're sleeping really good.
Oh.
And then you wake up. I don't know any other woman out there who hasn't slept 8 hours and then woke up and still felt so tired, like so drained, can't go through the day, don't know how I'm going to do it. Well, that is because you don't have progesterone to help you sleep. And then when you don't have that, your body doesn't do its repair mechanisms during the night. And so when you wake up, you're still tired. You still feel like shit.
So then I would imagine this could be a real scenario. So you wake up in the morning, you're still tired, you feel like shit, and what do? You slam an energy drink or some caffeine or some coffee, and that kind of gets you going for like 20 minutes, and then you think, oh, I'm just doing great, and all of a sudden you're back down in the same cycle again.
Yep, and then you've got, get the kids off to school, go to work, function all day, meetings and everything else in the middle, and then come home, fix dinner and do dishes and all of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, how much longer can I do this? How I can't cope. And so you're looking for reasons for it to be not you, right? You're like, the kids are driving me crazy. My husband's driving me crazy. I can't stand a dirty house. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. The damn dogs are barking all day long, right? And you're always in this excited mode. But the reality is your hormones are off. And so you are needing to balance them, which there's real no way to balance. You balance it based on how you feel. And in our clinic, we do weekly, every Friday, look at this list. How do you feel? Adjust your doses based on that, because we do this thing all the time.
Oh my gosh.
And so we're adjusting every Friday on what our doses should be so that we can find that evenness, so we can find like our sanity. It's crazy.
Do you have to take the pill, or are there some foods that you guys can eat, or you just...
There's always supplements, right? And I'm a big component. You know me. I'm a big component of supplements. And so I always help people find the supplements. But to be honest with you, the way we manage hormones at our clinic through the oil base, it trumps the supplements.
So when my wife tells me that when she's eating a preponderance of dark chocolate, that's not necessarily a supplement.
That could be. It could be. It could be.
It could be.
I like dark chocolate, but how much sugar does it have? And are we replacing our meals with it? And you know what I'm saying? All those other things that come with that.
I was trying to give maybe the ladies out there an excuse to go out and get a box of dark chocolate. I heard this lady on the podcast. We need to eat it.
I know. We need to eat it. It's healthy for me. We are always looking for an excuse, right? So is red wine, but don't drink more than one glass.
with the dark chocolate.
Yes.
So what are some other common symptoms that you guys may be experiencing?
You know what? Ironically, even with men, they will experience the same thing with testosterone, right?
Really?
So foggy brain, inability to focus, low energy, decreased muscle mass, sexual drive is decreased, sexual desire is decreased. Those are things that for both men and women, we look at if you're deficient in testosterone. Okay. And then for women, we are looking at how are you sleeping? How is your energy level? Are you gaining weight? Are you still cycling? Is it irregular or regular? We go through all these other things, right? And for women, we can base a lot of stuff based on your age and based on your symptoms. We know where we can start. But for men, it's a blood test that we want to do, because sometimes if you take too much testosterone as a man, then you convert it to estrogen. So there's a whole other component to that. That is another show. But for women, we are looking at all those components. And testosterone also gives women that little bit of edge, right? Yeah. It gives them that little bit of a surety that what they're doing is right, and they can stand strong in that. And so testosterone is really important too.
So I didn't know that if men take too much testosterone, it can be converted into estrogen.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
That could could explain my sudden desire to redecorate the whole house.
No, what it would do is cause your nipples to be very, very sore.
Okay, then I'm okay.
Yeah.
I just need to stop watching the Lifetime channel, I suppose.
That's right. That's right.
So what are some treatment options that you can provide?
So in our clinic, we do all options, right? We give you all your choices, and then we design a plan specifically for you. But some of the treatments can be supplements. Always treatments is better. Healthy eating, exercise, that's going to be the biggest component.
Okay.
And to save your bones and your muscle, you want to do resistance training at least 3 times a week. And I know it is not ever just always about diet and exercise. We hear that till we're like so sick of it. There's so much more involved. So it's not just diet and exercise. So if you come to me, you're not going to hear me just say, oh, what's your diet and exercise? You're going to hear me say, we need to do your diet. We need to look at your exercise, but what other components can we do to help get you to your goal? Some of the other treatment options are organic oil bases, which is what we primarily use because we've seen so many good results with that.
Explain that, organic oil base.
Yeah, so your skin is your biggest organ, right? And it can absorb. That's why when you say I'm around toxic environment, we get heavy metals, things like that. It's all absorbed through our skin. So your skin can absorb medications. And we know you can do patches and stuff like that, but the oils itself has a better transportation of the compounded medication into your skin versus the cream, because the cream sits on top and then allows the medications to soak in, but the oils just open up and let the medication soak in pretty quickly.
That's really fascinating to know. Yeah, and you have that at your clinic?
Yes, we do that at our clinic. We can also do the creams and the patches or the pills, but by the time you leave, you're going to be very educated on what your options are so that you can choose the best one for you, because we don't know. I mean, I can tell you what I think is best for you, but and I think that is a big error in a lot of patient-physician relationships and I'm not a physician, I'm a nurse practitioner, but a clinician, I guess I should say, is that blind faith, or that you should tell me what I need. Well, I don't really know what you need as far as what your body is telling you what you need. So we teach you how to be very in tune to how you feel. We teach you what signs you're looking for, how to look at it every week and say, this is where I feel so. And then we give you the freedom to increase or decrease and arrange all of your hormones so that you can base your ability to function on how you feel.
Oh, okay.
And then we guide you through that if you have issues and if you have questions and things like that.
So you've got a wide variety of options. You got oils and creams.
Creams and pills.
And pills.
And patches.
And patches. And, of course, the box of dark chocolates.
Yes.
Okay, so you've got all your bases covered.
Yes.
I think
yes.
That's pretty cool. So how do you break the stigma and encourage open conversations about menopause?
I think it's happening more and more. I think that women are finally waking up to the fact that the Women's Health Initiative was incorrect when the media took over and claimed all the claims that it caused cancer. And I think that the more research we do, and the fact that they finished that Women's Health Initiative study and realized that estrogen actually prevents cancer, it protects your bones. We call it keeping you out of diapers and not needing a walker. And the reality is, when you're in a care center situation, there's mostly women in there, and they have dementia and Alzheimer's because they have not had the estrogen and progesterone that they need in order to have a healthy brain. And so we are realizing with the studies that it actually is so beneficial to our bodies. Now, the theory is you just need a little extra and it goes a long way. But there are some practitioners that are actually bringing, you're 55 years old and you haven't had a period for a year. They're bringing your periods back. Oh. I'm not sure I want that, because I'd rather just not have that. But, so we're still in this discovery phase of where is the ultimate. But we also know that it needs to be talked about because it can prevent so many other things in the future of your 80-year-old self.
Do stem cells have anything to do with this at all? We've talked about that in other shows.
I mean, it can. It doesn't. It's not going to help you produce more hormones, right? But it can help you in the function of your body and in the repair and in the anti-inflammatory agents that it has. But it's more. This is more realizing at the age of 35, 45, 55 that you're going to protect your body at the age of 80. And a lot of people will come to me in their 50s or, they're barely their cycles are getting irregular and they think they're going into perimenopause or they think they're in menopause and they want hormone replacement therapy. But the first question is, well, I need this for the rest of my life. Well, let me tell you that, and this is going to be a little personal, but if you don't want a vagina that feels like sandpaper, then yes, it's going to be the rest of your life. We want to protect your skin. We want to protect your bones. We want to protect your brain. And that is how you do it, is with hormone replacement therapy.
Wow, that's pretty incredible. So let's say that there's a woman who's 35 and she's listening to the show and she goes, oh my God, next week I'm going to be 35. I'm going to go starting down the hill. What can she do? I mean, can you start doing this stuff ahead of time before you start experiencing these symptoms so you're prepared? How can a woman get prepared for this?
Yeah, I mean, we can supplement with progesterone right off the bat at 35 if you're not sleeping very well and, have some cognitive brain fog, things like that. But it's a journey, right? So you come in at 35, you're doing progesterone. Would I start estrogen? Maybe not, because you're still cycling. But we're going to supplement you with the progesterone. And then the questions are you still wanting to have kids? No kids, because we know you can go up to 40, 50 years old and still have kids, right? Yeah. So that all takes a precedence as well. So it's more of just meeting people where they are, finding out where they want to go, what their goals are, and then helping them get there.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
So, Melinda, if someone has questions about menopause, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, I actually have an Embrace Menopause on Facebook. It's called Embrace Menopause. I just said it. And you can join there if you want. And I really want more community, because we're not alone in this. There's more women than men on this earth. And so we need to band together and help each other with this journey. But I have that, and then you can go to my website at www.finishfirstmedical.com, or you can call me at 435-500-6734 and make an appointment.
And once again, we would like to remind everyone that Nurse Melinda does offer first initial consultation absolutely free. So I would encourage all of you to take advantage of that if you have questions or are in a situation where you're finding that yourself that I have a craving to eat a whole box of dark chocolate. Maybe I should just go see Nurse Melinda instead. Well, thank you very much. We'll see you guys again next time with another exciting edition of The Wellness Code with Nurse Melinda. You take care.
Thanks, Michael.
You're welcome.
You've been listening to The Wellness Code with Nurse Melinda from Finish First Medical in St. George. For more information, finishfirstmedical.com. Please like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you next time on The Wellness Code with Nurse Melinda.
Sorry. I had no